Hi all, welcome to the European Marquee Matchups for the 13th of March. Quite a few routes to cover, with the routes that aren't featured were featured in the last time these particular games were featured, so don't worry too much about it. So if you can smash the likes, be awesome. Sub to the channel if you're new. Follow me on Twitter at GZLegend. All the links are down below for playlists in the channel and social media links as always. Now, in theory, the routes that we should get hopefully do reflect this, but they might throw curveballs in, so be prepared for that. So first route, and the most likely of the two Champions League games for this route of fixtures, is Leicester versus Sevilla. That's the reason why it is a 9 out of 10. The reason why it's not a 10 out of 10 is because they could easily just give us the same game again, but I highly doubt it, and I wouldn't imagine they would go 4 Europa League games. For this route, Leicester Sevilla is one for both teams. I'm looking at like 3 leagues, 5 minimum for rare players, 5 nations. Quite easy enough to build, 79 overall. They wouldn't push it to 80, that'd kind of be overkill. 7 to 10k is what it costs. A lot of people are preparing this route already, so be prepared for that if you go to buy particular players and if you want to try and make some coins. Then Atletico Leverkusen is the other fixture that is the other kind of game that should be featured. That's why it's a 9 out of 10 as well. One player from both teams, 3 leagues, 5 rare. It's kind of similar requirements I'm expecting. They might tweak it slightly, they might make it 2 leagues or so many max from one league. Same kind of cost again. The good thing is there's plenty of ways around this route, so you can quite easily build this quite cheap, and a lot of people hopefully will not be outpricing you. If you've got the Atletico and Leverkusen players packed already in your club, just rely on them, don't go out and buy players, stick with what you have. Now, Celta Vigo, Krasnodar, for me personally, Celta Vigo now are not going to feature because Sevilla and Atletico are both kind of featuring. Now, it would make me suggest that Celta Vigo are the tie that's going to be missed out. Now, what this does is kind of eliminate what options are going to appear. Now, for me personally, I think it means I'll look elsewhere. And if you have 3 from the one league, it's just going to really saturate the market even further. While people are trying to complete a league SBC, Celta Vigo will not probably happen on that basis, so keep that in mind. But it's still a route I've put together for you to kind of cover your back in case it does happen. And same with Schalke, Mönchengladbach. Leverkusen are already featuring. Makes me think if they were to do 2 German routes, 2 Spanish routes, in all honesty, then it makes it a lot harder. It makes the Bundesliga really drained out of like players and the market. Prices are going to be super inflated because people are buying Schalke and Mönchengladbach. So as a result, it's kind of like a 4 out of 10, and I don't honestly see this route happening. That is why I think they would look at like maybe the Rostov again, and that kind of makes the options very limiting and potentially easier to work out. So keep that in mind for these SBC. Schalke Mönchengladbach for me, though I said that last week is one of my most likely routes, I still quite fancy this because it is an all German tie. Now obviously if either team were to be featured in the marquee matchups over a weekend, then this route would just kind of be oblivious. But if they were to go a German route, however, over the weekend, then they might do what they did with the Ajax route, where they included just one player from Ajax, just to kind of, it boosts up that particular market. And with potentially the Bundesliga SBC cropping up soon, this is a way to get the coins out of that league and prices kind of up in preparation. Ghent versus Genk. Ghent have a game against Mechelen at the weekend, and because that is a potential game in the marquee matchups, Ghent have 2 kind of openings. If they don't feature on Thursday, which is when the normal marquee matchups are going to crop up this week, then they have a chance of being on Monday. Now, my feeling is if they appear tomorrow, then obviously we're not going to get this on Monday, so the 7 out of 10 for likelihood would suddenly become a 0. So, for me personally, I would say it's hard to say with what they're going to do. I think they will probably go for this game in some context, where it's this one or the other game. Now, Olympiacos versus Besiktas, I don't personally fancy. Obviously, like Olympiacos and Besiktas have both recently featured in marquee matchups, and a lot of the other teams haven't. So this route for me, if they were to go with this, the Olympiacos did feature in the last time it happened for Europa League with Olympiacos, and it was the Osmanlıspor versus Olympiacos. So it was a Turkish Greek battle. Now obviously I can't see this happening again and if they do, then they're just kind of trying to boost up the prices in the Super League for those that still haven't done the SBC, and the Greek League, the players are just getting kind of super inflated for a few days, which is kind of not ideal. But for me personally, the 4 obviously that should happen are the 2 Champions League games that featured of Leicester and Atletico, and then looking at the Belgian and German routes for your 4. So hope you find this useful. As always, let me know in the comments down below what your 4 are, and be interested to see if you think any different. Take it easy all, thanks for watching. As always, remember to smash the like, sub to the channel if you're new, follow me on Twitter, G is a legend, and I will catch you all